So let me tell you about the time of how Robert Rodriguez is the reason I made my first feature film. I was fortunate enough to send in my short film Lions and Wolves to El Rey Network, which is Robert Rodriguez's television network. And I luckily got a call from the network and an email saying that they wanted to display that short film on their network. And I was surprised. And they were like, we'll fly you out here, we're gonna interview you and everything else. So I ended up meeting Rey Mysterio, which was really cool. And he showed me his car and everything too, which was also cool. But at any rate, you know, everybody was like, man, Robert Rodriguez really loved your film. And I was like, man, that's cool. So that short film ends up, you know, being playing on the network for quite some time. I want to say about 2 years, and a little bit after that, I ended up getting a call from a producer. And there's this show, a reality show that they are about to produce, and they felt like I'd be a great candidate for it. And it was Rebel Without a Crew. It eventually, you know, came out with a whole, you know, cast of people. But they were like, you know, we really would think you'd be great for the show. Could you, you know, film a bumper, and could you, you know, send in pictures of you as a kid and your story as to why you want to be a filmmaker, and can you turn in a script for your feature film? And I was like, sure. Whoa. They were like, can you turn it in a week? I said, a week? Man. So I said, yeah, I can do it. And I sat down and ended up writing with a friend, Portia Brenner. At the time, she was Portia Robinson. We ended up writing Maximilian, which was a script I sort of had sitting down and I knew I could, you know, elongate. And eventually Maximilian, which is now on Tubi, became Assassin's Game. And before we even get to that point, I, you know, went through like a multiple interview process to try to get on Rebel Without a Crew. And I was like, probably after about 2 months, and you know, we're talking on and off. Eventually I get the sorry loser, you're not gonna be able to be on the show type of thing. And I'm making it worse than what it was. They didn't say that. They were just like, hey, you know, if we do a second season, we'll probably talk to you about it. And when I saw the first season, I sort of understood why they went the route they did, especially, you know, understanding production at that point. So I ended up calling a good friend of mine who's a producer, well-known producer around Cleveland and director, Johnny Woo. And I said, hey, well, now I have this full feature script because I had no plans of even remotely making a feature. And I said, do you think you can help me make this into a feature film? And he says, yeah. So we plan everything out, we get our locations, we you know, get our actors, and we pound the pavement. And we end up getting the film done. I mean, it took about 3 months, but in terms of days, it took us 11 days to film that movie. And it was fun. It was a lot of work and it was a lot of fun. And you know, the funny part is I would have never, ever made a feature film if it wasn't for Robert Rodriguez and his team calling me to be on a reality show. Yeah, and that's how Assassin's Game ended up being made.